Do you want to host few different web applications on the single Raspberry Pi? In the tutorial, I will show you how to host 3 different applications running on completely different ports of our Raspberry Pi. Redirect them all in single port using so-called reverse proxy feature of Nginx, and just be able to access every application just changing endpoint on the end of IP address of our Raspberry Pi. And finally, I will show you how to host all that applications in internet using Dataplicity platform. Welcome in new tutorial. The first step I want to do is install Dataplicity into my Raspberry Pi. A Dataplicity application will allow us later to connect to our applications remotely or to host them in internet. And also for now it will make easier to control the installation process of the applications if, for example, we will switch our local network. Let's proceed to dataplicity.com and let's create here a new account by providing your email address in appropriate window. And after you click start here, you will see down there the installation code that you will need to copy and paste to the SSH terminal of your Raspberry Pi. I already have the Dataplicity account, so I just copy my code from here. And I need to pass that code here in the SSH of Raspberry Pi. Dataplicity is installing. Cool. It's installed, and if I go to dataplicity.com, I can see my new device appeared here. And I'm able to connect to my new device to Dataplicity remotely. Let's switch the user to Pi user. Next, to have access to our different applications on the single Raspberry Pi, we need to install Nginx and make a reverse proxy to different ports on which our applications are running. Let's proceed with it. First of all, let's make sudo apt get install Nginx. Yes, I want to continue. Nginx is installed and it already should be available on port 80 of our device. We can check it by either providing our browser local IP address of our device when we in our local network, obviously, and we can see Nginx welcome page here. Or if we want to see it remotely, we can go to Dataplicity, and here we need to enable wormhole feature, which is available to expose our port 80 of our device into the internet through provided here special link. Let's click on that, and we can see here also welcome page of our Nginx. Cool. Let's go through that. Let's set up reverse proxy of our Nginx. We need to edit some Nginx settings. At etc Nginx sites available default, we can find our settings. Okay, and here inside of the server brackets, let's add a couple of settings. For example, we want to have our first application, let's say created in the Flask framework web application, to be run at port 8000 and to be accessible from internet with suffix of our URL of the Flask. To do that, we need to provide keyword location with our suffix after which we want our app to be accessible. So I mean, when we have our URL, here we're adding the Flask, and after that our Flask app should be accessible here. To do it, we need to provide such session set as proxy pass. And here we are writing to which port of our local network it will be redirected, 127.0.0.1. And after that, the most important part, the port we want our request to be redirected. Let's say for Flask it will be 8000. And in fact, only the string should kind of work, but the problem will be here that after we reaching our Flask suffix, inside of the Flask app, it will be also reaching Flask endpoint. But I want to, by providing here the Flask suffix, we are reaching the basic home endpoint with single slash, like that. So to improve it, we need to add here the next regular expression. Let's use keyword rewrite. We're rewriting all the Flask suffix. And basically what that regular expression do is just removes the Flask keyword from our URL and leaves rest as it is. So for example, if you provide here Flask/home, we'll just reach home page of our application. Let's provide also same for another our application, which will be using FastAPI. And basically let's make the same. And let's redirect it into port 8001. And in fact that all Nginx settings you need to provide, let's test if our settings will work using sudo nginx -t, and we can see that everything is good with our configuration. So let's restart our Nginx configuration now. Sudo systemctl reload Nginx. Our Nginx configuration is reloaded, and what we need to do next is to create our two applications. First of all, let's create our Flask application. As you probably know, writing applications in Flask is very easy. I will show you how to do it. Write me up in Flask that runs on the port 8000. App should have two endpoints, basic and point that does some stuff. Let's paste here our hardly written code. Let's save it and let's try to run. Okay, there's problem because I choose a very stupid name for our app. Let's rename it. And now we can see that our Flask app is running. Amazing. And let's try our application with Flask endpoint. Yes, I forgot that. Cool. And if we provide our Flask endpoint, we can reach our Flask endpoint. Cool. This is Flask app. We can also reach some endpoint inside of our application by providing it after Flask suffix. Doing some stuff. Amazing. Cool. Let's make same with FastAPI. Please change port to 8001. Okay, let's install FastAPI and UV libraries first. After that, let's copy our Git code. Amazing. And let's run it. Application is running. So let's go to the FastAPI endpoint. And we can see that this is FastAPI app. Amazing. Do FastAPI can do some stuff in some other endpoint? It can. So as you can see, we can run simultaneously our Raspberry Pi in single port two different applications using Nginx. Obviously, for some production application, you will definitely need to run that as system services, not like I am into different window. But for purposes of that tutorial, I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, let's go further. Let's say we want to run some external app on our Raspberry, and we want to run it in parallel with our previous apps. So how to do it? Let's install that some external app that in our case will be Shinobi. You can see the Shinobi tutorial in my previous video if you're interested in. So to install Shinobi, we will reach the Shinobi page, go here, and here. Yes, and let's install it. We need to change our user to root. Yes, amazing. And here let's paste our command. Our Shinobi is installing. Cool. Our Shinobi is installed, and by default our Shinobi should run on port 8080. Let's check if it is installed correctly and running. And yes, we can see that Shinobi is here. Amazing. Now let's change our Nginx settings to be able to reach our Shinobi through wormhole also. And basically let's do the same thing we did for FastAPI or for Flask. Location, Shinobi this time. Let's rewrite Shinobi suffix. S1 brick. And let's redirect to port 8080. Cool. That's all. Let's check our Nginx. Okay, everything working. And let's reload. And now it should work. Let's check. Let's go to Shinobi. Forgot about another slash, and yes, here we realized the reverse proxy using our Nginx for 3 different applications running on 3 different ports of our Raspberry Pi, and now we can access them through the single port and move that from any place in the world. Amazing. Cool. Thanks for watching.